We're here to celebrate the creative industries. There is a phenomenal amount of talent in Derby. And what this is about is celebrating the brilliant creative talent that we have right here in Derby. And these awards are a reflection of that great talent, but it's also a way for us to celebrate Derby in that context. None of this would happen without you. And ultimately, these awards are about you, the community. Woo indeed. Thank you for that. So I saw this video earlier, and for those of you that have been to multiple Mainframe Awards, this is kind of a repetition of what I say every time, which is that I realise I am basically wearing the same clothes again, which is really embarrassing particularly when people come together, because you all work in the creative industries and you're all very conscious of what you wear and you have incredible outfits, and I recycle basically. But I do have new trainers. Thanks. And I've got new glasses. And the other major difference, even though that wasn't that long ago, is I am considerably greyer. So I'm blaming that on the pandemic, which is kind of the segue into the introduction. Thank you for being here tonight. This is our 5th Mainframe Awards, Mainframe Awards 2022. We're here to celebrate, as I said numerous times before, the creative talent and digital talent in Derby and Derbyshire. And I think what's happened over these last few years is that creativity, the arts, culture has never been more important. People have, for one reason or another, been in places where it's not been a positive experience for them. We're not going to go into the history of what's happened over the last few years or even what's going on now. But during that time, people have reflected on what's important. And I've had lots of conversations with people that have recognised, either through watching something when they were locked in at home, or that point when they were able to come out and realising that actually that visit to the pub, or that conversation with someone about a film that they watched together, or going to watch a play, or seeing a spoken word performance, all of those things are not just nice to haves, but they're crucial to what make us us and what make us human beings. And I think that's the realisation that's happened. The other thing that's important to recognise is that during that period that we've been through, the word unprecedented was used a lot. Don't know if people noticed that. So that's kind of happened. What we are in now is precedented times, because we know that stuff can happen, and we know what it means, and we know what the challenges are. But what also happened is that we, as in the creative sector, really stepped up. Words like pivot came in, and I'm sure those of you in the audience that have had businesses that have pivoted, I was talking to someone about this downstairs, the challenge with us in the creative industries quite a lot of the time is that we don't have huge organisations. So an organisation pivots, a creative organisation pivots. It doesn't mean you pivot away from what you were doing. Generally, you pivot towards something, and you're doing that, but you're still doing this over here. So we're also showing our resilience and our ability to adapt and our ability to use those creative skills for more than just the outputs that we have, but just that creativity in applying that to your own business. And as we will see from the awards later on as well, it's not just about always commercial gain. It's about creativity for good. It's about the things that we can do and use our creative powers to make the world a better place. So, not wanting to kind of limit the ambitions, but we do need to make the world a better place. And all of you are responsible for that, so apologies. My name's Adam Buss. It says here I'm the bid director for City of Culture 2025. So I've already had about 8 conversations with people that have said, sorry, you didn't get through, how you feeling, all that kind of stuff. I'll give the short version of what I've said to everyone. For about 10 days, I was really angry and depressed and annoyed. But that's on me, because I'm a very competitive person. And, you can see things through a kind of a microcosm of failure and these kind of binaries. The more philosophical me now, sometime after and through lots of conversations, recognises that what we did as a city, getting to that final 8, was a great achievement. And the only reason we were able to do that is that we are a city that can come together when there's an issue that we believe is important. And that gives me the confidence that no matter what it is, We have all the answers here in Derby. And again, all of you, are right in the middle of where those solutions might come from. We've gone hybrid this year, so there are people watching online. So if anyone does shout anything out loud that they don't want to be repeated forevermore, just bear that in mind going forward. We have, I imagine, somewhere in the sort of at least 7 figures of people watching globally. So if someone wants to attack me, then flag it up, and I'd rather just talk it out if possible. You know, if it's really that serious, then I'm happy to kind of, we'll go offline. But if you can kind of keep all of your correspondence during this event positive, that would be much appreciated. So, what we also want you to do is we want a practical thing from you, and that practical thing is social media, as is the way of the world we're in now, and we want you to share your experience tonight. Some of you already started doing this. The hashtag for tonight is Mainframe, so bear in mind there's no R in there, because that is something that catches people out. Hashtag Mainframe, and our tag is at Mainframe Derby, so please do share any images, conversations that you have. I've already had about 3 or 4 conversations with people about potential creative projects that might happen, so share your ideas online. Another thing we need to recognise is that we are here as part of a collective. So Mainframe is part of an organisation called the Big House, which is a project that was started many years ago, hence the greyness now from when we first started. And it was a project funded by the European Union, which, again, we're not going to get into that discussion, but things have moved on. And the Big House Consortium is a group of partners, and I'll read those names out here. They're listed on there, but they include Derby Theatre, the University of Derby, Nottingham Trent University, NBV, Creative Quarter, and New Art Exchange in Nottingham. And again, what I realised from the start of that process is that there are opportunities for us to work cross borders as well. For many years, I lived in Long Eaton, which is equidistant, as Alan Partridge said, and I know I do sound a bit like Alan Partridge sometimes, so you don't need to flag it up to me. I realise that. But equidistant between Derby and Nottingham, and some of the streets there are equally split between Derby County fans and Nottingham Forest fans. But there are opportunities for collaboration, and I've got to say that the Big House has been one of the most kind of positive, collaborative activities we've done. And over the years, we're coming to the end of this funding now, but over the years there have been thousands of people that have benefited from creative mentoring, workplace placements, grants specifically for building businesses, and events like this, the Creative Industries Awards, over time. And all of that was done in a collaborative process. So, it's time to launch the Mainframe Awards 2022. Are you indeed ready? I'm not going to go panto and make you get louder or anything like that, because you're not going to fall for it, are you? Because you've already seen it, but that was a good start. So we start with our first award of this evening, and it's the Make and Trade Award. Derby and Derbyshire is a hive of wonderful people who craft and produce. This award recognises someone continuing on that grand tradition, selling on a small scale and making locally. And our shortlist is Hannah Lobley, Wood and Paper Artworks, Leslie So Good Kombucha, and Oliver Folds. And just to flag up, last year's award winner was the always amazingly dressed Claire Zwosny-Beswick, who is here. Yep, over there. Thank you, Claire. And I'd like to invite our first judge up to the stage this evening, Nikki Capewell, founder of Pedal and Trestle. Nikki, if you'd like to come to the stage.
Hello, good evening everyone. Thank you so much for inviting me to judge this category. It was a phenomenal category with so many wonderful businesses. The winner tonight showed how they had explored a niche and really developed that, and were shown many successes in trading locally and beyond. So tonight, without further ado, the winner is Leslie So from So Good Kombucha. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Oh,
Stand
sorry.
together.
Okay, oh my gosh. This is gonna seem really cliche, but I really didn't expect to win. I just feel like it's such an honor to be nominated along these wonderful, amazing finalists, and I'm just really pleased to be. I wish I didn't have a glass of champagne because I'm allergic and now I'm really tipsy. But I just really want to really want to thank my friends and people who've become like family to me, because it really does take a village to run a business, and I'm just happy to be here tonight because otherwise I'd still be cleaning. So thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so Leslie has also summed up exactly what will happen. So you will get very emotional if you win the award, which is important, and you will give a heartfelt speech like Leslie. Leslie set the bar there quite high, so no pressure. But also Leslie is now being whisked off downstairs to get a 360-degree portrait. So all of you, if you do win, will get those as well. But even people that are shortlisted or people that want to just do it will have the opportunity to do that afterwards downstairs. And I also want to say, please, a massive round of applause for Hot House. Hot House, the generic description for 4 human beings who I haven't remembered the names of. So please do, I'm being honest, please do introduce yourselves. Tell us a bit about why music and what you're doing.
Hi, I'm Harris, and music's sort of a big part of a child's life, and I feel like connecting with different people through the music was really powerful for me, especially. And so yeah, music's been really important for sort of building me as a person throughout my childhood, and I couldn't thank you enough for Hot House and the music community around me.
I'm Macy. I've been playing bass since I was 11, and I'm now teaching music to young children with Hot House for nearly 2 years now. And yeah, I really appreciate it.
I'm Luca. I've been playing drums since I was a little kid. I joined Hot House when I was 8. And yeah, I didn't think I'd get to the stage where I get to come to loads of opportunities, and it just became such a big part of my life. So yeah, I hope to keep going, and yeah, massively enjoy it. So thanks for having us.
Yeah, I'm Tom. So I started an apprenticeship with Hot House 2 years ago, but I was a student. Started 10 years ago, I think, with the company. So I think Hot House and just music is a really great opportunity for, I think particularly in the Derby area of Hot House, Macy, Luca and I have all come on as apprentices now. So I think it's really important, that kind of progression for not only our musical skills, but our social skills, our, just general. I think music goes across a lot more than music, it goes across, all of life really. So I think it's really important, and yeah, really happy to be here. Thank you.
Hot House. I am a terrible presenter. Because earlier I said to these guys, so like what I might do is I might come over, I might have a conversation with you. Who's most likely to speak? And they all said, Luca. Clearly not everyone wanted to speak, but I've made them speak. So I apologise. Thank you for doing that. None of this as well was in the rehearsal. So the tech crew are up there. Hey, Adam. Looking at me like, where is he going now? How long is he going to wander on? And I always make the point of saying that, technicians, tech crew, we've got some amazing staff that work here in Quad, and we've also got Linley Productions in tonight. Tech crew, if you ever go to an event, an awards ceremony, it's always very easy for the person on stage, whenever they make a mistake, to go, oh, technical crew, oh, why have they done that? It's not wired up properly. Behind the curtain, 9 times out of 10, that is the presenter's fault, okay? Just bear that in mind. So don't be that person. These people have your lives in their hands. Be nice to them. And they're brilliant. So we move on to our next award, Best Local Network. Networks, meetups, groups play a vital role in supporting and developing digital and creative people and their businesses. Which network did our judges think should be the winner? And our shortlist is Rachel Hayward and Lee Marples from Derby Swap Shop Limited, Derby's Finest, and Banks Mills Studios. Congratulations on all of you for being shortlisted, and we have last year's winners, Stephen Goddard and Chevalier Philip Brooks Stevenson, who are this year's judges for the category, and they're the co-founders, if you don't know, of an amazing business networking group called Cuckoo Connect. Please check that out. If you'd like to come to the stage, gentlemen.
Hold on. At Cuckoo Connect, as the first ever winners of this special award, we're very proud to be back this year as judges and Derby Mainframe champions, with the great honour of presenting this very special Best Local Network Award.
Yes, so networking, we think, is about as old as one of the other oldest professions in the world. But it is an essential part of business, commerce, and the community. And anybody who thinks networking is a waste of time is missing a huge opportunity within their own organisation or career. Networks are key to a thriving economy, and that's very much the case here in Derbyshire.
Well done to all the finalists who were nominated by others, which is a true testament to any network, something each nominee should be very proud of.
And I'm sure, like other judges, it was very difficult for us to narrow down just a shortlist, even harder to then select a winner. But what stood out for us was excellence in voluntary service, a sense of wanting to help others freely, as well as being creative and innovative within the networking sector, and with benefit literally to any business or organisation, impacting beyond the county borders of Derbyshire, which is great credit, I thought, we both thought, to Derbyshire nationally, and also in such desperate times during the pandemic, and even now in the recovery period.
I've always wanted to do this now. And the winner is Derby Swap Shop, Lee Marples and Rachel Hayward.
We're all falling out now over who needs to speak. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody, because actually Derby Swap Shop and what is now the UK Swap Shop is very much a team effort. Because without all of you swapping your business skills, talents, products and services with other small businesses and charities, we wouldn't even be here. So what was a very crazy idea that was only supposed to be for a few months will be 2 years old next month. And it's down to these guys who came along on this journey with us and all the support that we've received from you. So thank you very much, and thank you for also sharing that it's not just for COVID, maybe swapping is for life. So thank you very much, and congratulations to the other finalists in the category as well. I think we're all amazing winners, so thank you.
One last message from us, and we did say it was very difficult in terms of selecting a winner. So we just also wanted to add that the judges felt, or we felt, the judges, there's no one else, it's in fact us. I'm not very well actually, I don't know, I'm sounding very croaky this year, so brain's not working. But we just also like to pass on a message of a judge's commendation to Derby's finest as well this evening. And we'll be sending you a special message and some words of commendation to Derby's finest as well. Well done.
We now move on to the third award of the evening, and this is for Emerging Digital and Creative Star, brackets under 25. That was a while ago. This award recognises an individual under the age of 25 who's made an impact on the digital and creative landscape of Derby and Derbyshire. The region's success in the digital arena depends on talent staying in our region, and the judges will look to reward the best and brightest young people for their efforts. To give you some examples from previous winners, we've had Gaz Jones from Think3, Jessica Frierson from Future-Proof Films, Elliot Davidson from Contrast Digital Limited, and Georgia Vickers from Fluid Ideas. Some amazing talent there. Our shortlist this year is Audrin Taylor for Goldbox Productions, Nathan Ade from Mental Roots, and Tamika Stedman from I Put the T in Poetry. And the judge for this category is Phil Bassey, Programme Lead at the University of Derby. Phil, if you'd like to come to the stage.
Thank you. Okay. Thanks a lot. I've got a couple of points to put out, but lovely to see you all out and about in Derby. Hands up who's from Derby. Brilliant. And welcome everybody else that are now in Derby. But I'm very fortunate. I was born and brought up in Derby when the world was black and white, back in the 60s. And, you know, God bless my dad and my mum. They were one of the first Asian families to actually settle in Derby in the 1950s. And back in those days, Derby wasn't such a welcoming place as it is today. And I can tell you lots of stories of my past. But the most important thing is that Derby is such a wonderful creative city. And me, Charlene, have had a fantastic career exploiting our creativity. Charlene's met some pretty amazing A-listers. If you don't know much about Charlene, she used to work at the BBC, working on a lot of major shows. I've done the same at ITV and BBC and still do that. I spend 3 days a week teaching at the university and telling young talent how wonderful and maybe not so how wonderful they are, depending on which side of the fence you sit. But it's really good to see really good talent coming through. And in this category, it was really impressive, the range of work I saw. And I was really bowled over, you know, my own influences when I was growing up in Derby. I used to spend a lot of time at the museum, just looking at Joseph Wright's paintings. That's how I got into being a creative. I used to just sit there for hours just copying his paintings, and then moved into graphic design and then producing, directing for ITV, BBC and all the rest of the people that like to give me lots of money for stuff that I love to do. And then ended up judging a category which is really warm to my heart. Unfortunately, I couldn't apply for this category because it said under 25s. And I've got grandchildren more near that age than me. Oh, I know, I don't look it, but thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to do something slightly different here. I'm going to just talk about the shortlist. Audrin Taylor, you know, Goldbox Productions. Where is he? Stand up and take a round of applause first and foremost. Well done. I've only got 3, so don't worry, it's not going to last all night. You know, Audrin has done very well setting up a thriving production company in Derby at such a young age. You know, it's really impressive. The work on the website, if you want to shout it out, because it's a shame you can't see the work, but very impressive, high standard of work. And it's really good to see that talent coming through, because it is really important to support that talent. If you need productions, talk to the guy at the end. Next on my list, this is no in particular order who came 3rd or 2nd. There's no such thing. You know, these are my 3 shortlists. Tamika Stedman, young lady, if you would like to stand up and take a round of applause. Company, I Put the T into Poetry. Tamika's story is a very powerful and stands as a testament how someone can turn their life around and the use of creative medium to challenge her energy in a positive way, and how she has gone on to share that with people of Derby and benefiting others as around, you know, certain issues that she's faced and sharing that experience. You know, very brave young lady, and I just wish you all the best in the world as you move forward in your creative endeavours. And as they say, there can only be one winner. going to talk about them first before they announce them, otherwise I'll be standing here like a lemon. This young man's work is absolutely amazing. Again, if you could see it, you'd appreciate it. So I'm going to get him to announce it when he comes up here. A very high, amazing level of work, presented very well. He's an animator that tackles some amazing subject matter. It shows a clear path about how Nathan creates his work and the thought process around that work when I looked at his portfolio and how he came up with the ideas that he was creating. The work itself is very engaging, and even though it deals with some hard-hitting subject matter, his style is very graphic and very powerful. He has had local and national recognition by the BBC, and I'm sure he will make it internationally as well. Definitely one to watch and see him develop in the future. Nathan, come up and collect your gong. Well done, man. Say some words, right? That's for you. Just a picture. There you go, mate. Wonderful. There you go.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much, Phil. Let's give a round of applause for Phil, and thanks so much. And a round of applause to the other finalists as well. I think this, it's been quite a journey in the making. I've put myself out there for many competitions since 2019. Being a pretty fresh animation degree graduate, being a young person coming into the creative industries can be daunting for many reasons, especially if you are a creative of ethnic minority origin, tackling some difficult topics such as mental health in the Black community, which is what Mental Roots is focused on. So thank you so much to Mainframe Awards for acknowledging what the animation and the podcast and all the content is trying to address. Everyone, it would be great if you could follow and support Mental Roots. Mental Roots Pod is the tag on Twitter and Instagram, and this is only the beginning. Thank you so much.
Nathan and Phil have made me think about cricket, which is an easy thing for me because I love it, and I recognise that a lot of people really don't like it and find it incredibly boring. So there's a little bit of devil in me that likes to talk about cricket in a situation where I know people are going to go, why is he doing this? But the reason I think about it is that what Phil described there is sometimes a challenge in our industry, in that sometimes we see creativity and the brilliant creativity that's come out, and we've just heard of 3 young, amazing creatives doing brilliant things, and sometimes that can be quite intimidating, actually. That can be a bit of, well, actually, maybe I'm not creative. And during the City of Culture process, I had a lot of conversation with people that said the exact words, I'm not creative. And it wasn't necessarily the right time to challenge that with them, but everybody is, and everybody can be, and everybody can be more. The reason I think about cricket is that during lockdown, I renovated my cricket bats, which, woof, watch out, Adam, get that on Instagram. That's a winner. But that for me was a really cathartic, creative process. And it was a simple thing. It was working with a chunk of wood, ultimately. I did some sanding, which is something I've never done before. And I know people that do this stuff are like, yeah, whatever. But for me, like, it was a really important thing. And I think that's something for us to recognise, is that everyday creativity, whatever that means to you, is as important as everything else. You don't have to win an Oscar for everything you're doing. And actually, it should be about what it means to you and finding whatever that is, that creative outlet for yourself. And there was another reason, there were 2 reasons why I thought about cricket, but I can't remember what the other one was. So I'm just going to stop there. But thank you for allowing me to talk about cricket, Phil and Nathan. Our fourth award of this evening, and this is one of the awards I think that sums up why we set the Mainframe Awards up in the first place, was that we looked at a lot of award ceremonies, and there's a lot of obvious awards that are out there. A friend of mine is a camera operator, and he got nominated for, I'm going to get this wrong now, but he got nominated for an award for Steadicam Operator of the Year, which, like, you can laugh if you want, and but it's a really important award in his industry, but it's very, very specific. He knew that. He didn't win. He's been nominated twice. He's lost both times. He's not bitter. He keeps coming back. But there are a lot of awards that are very industry specific and are things like Architect of the Year and Designer of the Year, and those awards are important, but we didn't want to just replicate that. So the creation of the Mainframe Unsung Hero Award was a reflection of what we saw as the important people that make the creative industries work, which is not always the people that are out front. There's a huge amount of people behind the scenes that are making things work. For me in my career, without amazing HR, finance, administrative people, would not have been able to do anything, and I would have just collapsed into a mess, basically. So this is awarded to the unsung hero in the office, and we updated this, for obvious reasons, to people that work from home as well. And this unsung hero is usually someone who flies under the radar, but is actually a digital or creative workhorse. And these were nominated by yourselves, as with all of those. And our shortlist is Mike Brown from Derby City Council. Shelley McBride from Derby Parent Community Programme CIC. And Lee Marples from Derby Swap Shop Limited. Our judge for this category is Daniel Poole, who's Head of Development at Derby Theatre. Daniel, if you'd like to come to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. How are we doing? Everyone's being very well behaved. No one's planning a Will Smith on Adam later, I'm hoping. No, that's true. Although it would help us go viral, so, I mean, this might be useful. Yeah, as Adam picked on there, this is I felt a really interesting category, and something that I think sets the Mainframe Awards out from the kind of regular awards that you see. And I had a completely unenviable task of sifting through it. I thought I'd got the golden goose, and then realised I had a really difficult job. And as you can see from our shortlist, we've got a real mix of different industries, different types of companies. We've got a local authority, a CIC, and an entrepreneur company there who we've heard from earlier, and it made my job incredibly difficult. But the person who edged it for me was someone who maybe didn't necessarily see themselves as a digital or creative person before the pandemic, but rose to the challenge with a really amazing kind of piece of work, and has definitely made a massive difference for a lot of people in the city over the past couple of years. So I'd like to invite to the stage our winner this evening, Shelley McBride.
I was definitely so cheesy, not expecting to win that. I think just tying in with what Adam said earlier, I'm not a creative at all. And during the pandemic, we managed to set up sort of an online platform that supported lots of expectant and new parents during a really challenging time for lots of them. I was a facilitator of that, but the credit goes to our volunteers for the community parent programme who sort of did the hard work and the graft and put the time in. So this is for them, so thank you.
Yeah, this is probably where I do get a tap, but you are a creative. We all are, and we can all help each other to be more. You were pleased to know this is the last award before the break, so you get a chance to refresh yourselves. And this is for the Best Digital Creative Startup. This is awarded to the company or organisation that has launched within the last 3 years and has a strong and loyal following, customer base or audience. Previous winners include Think3, Erica Horn for CAD for Fashion, iScout and Playtonic Games. And those of you that have followed the careers of some of those businesses know that there's some incredible talent out there. Shortlisted for this award this time round are Glossop Create, Goldbox Productions, and Inside Theatre. And our judge for this category is Karen Newman, founder and director of Birmingham Open Media. Karen, if you'd like to join the stage.
Hi everyone, thanks for having me over from Birmingham. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's been fantastic to look at the amazing category and some brilliant entries here. So I managed to whittle it down to 3. And yeah, what great projects they are for Derby. So, you know, it's just brilliant to see the sort of strength of creativity and innovation that you have in your city. So Glossop creates a fantastic platform for makers, which is really reinvigorating the creative economy and helping to kind of raise the profile of Glossop and just really position that area as a real kind of creative hotbed of talent and a marketplace. So fantastic project. And then we've got Goldbox Productions. Good to see you nominated also on another one. I was really impressed by the quality of your work. Really brilliant quality, multi-platform digital work. So yeah, definitely everybody should check that out. And then Inside Theatre, which at the start of the pandemic, I think we all panicked at the start of the pandemic. At the start of the pandemic, Beck decided to kind of do something in response to the one of the sectors that was hit the hardest, the theatre sector. So she went away and secured Innovate funding, to Innovate UK funding, to be able to create an app which helps people to create their own immersive theatre environment and sit and watch a performance as an audience member. So that is now available on the App Store or Google Play Store. Please download it. It's fantastic. And yeah, it's being used by students and organisations. It's a really fantastic product. So I'm sure you can see that was 100% for me, our winner. So I'd love to invite, Beck's not here today, but Darius Powell to the stage to collect this award, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much. This is amazing. Thank you. Yeah, unfortunately, Beck can be here today. She's actually directing a show, doing what she does best. She's an amazing director, and she's an amazing leader of Inside Theatre. Very, very proud to be part of a team which incorporated so many creative individuals, from set designers to audio, to graphics, to animation and programming and directing and costume design. All working through the pandemic. You know, we had so many Zoom meetings, a lot of Zoom meetings. And I think we only actually got together once in person during the whole production, and we managed to create something which I think is truly beautiful and has been really well received. So I'd just like to say on behalf of Beck and the entire team, thank you very much for this. Thank you.
Just say there as well, what Darius just did there is the hardest job in awards, is not being the person that receives the award, but receiving the award on their behalf. So well done to Darius for that. We are now halfway through our awards. What was that noise? Was that like a yes or a no or a nah, do more or do less? Stop talking. Yeah, we're halfway through the awards. Congratulations to all the winners, but it's important to say, and I know it sounds like a cliche, but it really isn't. Congratulations to everyone that was nominated as well, but not just those that were nominated, those that submitted and didn't make the shortlist. Every single one of these decisions is incredibly hard. And what Karen said is really important as well. Karen, unprompted, said some really nice things about Derby and its cultural and creative life to me before we started the ceremony. I didn't ask her to say that, but one of the reasons, again, we set this award ceremony up was that we wanted to celebrate ourselves and pass that thanks on to the creative community in Derby, but we also wanted to project that outwards as well and say, look, actually, take notice of Derby. There's amazing talent here. So this news, this information about these awards is shared with the likes of Creative England, the Creative Industries Federation, the BFI, Arts Council England, all of our partners here at Quad and beyond. And every time we talk to people that are from outside of the city, if they know about us, they're not surprised and they recognise how much talent there is. If they're not from here and they find out about the talent, they are quite often surprised by the breadth and the depth of the talent that is here in what is still a relatively small place in the world of cities. And I think that's something we should all be incredibly proud of. We're seeing some amazing messages coming through the stream. I say that from a distance. I have not seen those, but Charlene, thank you, Charlene, is agreeing there. So please do keep sending those messages because they're also part of that. You know, we are all part of Team Derby, and the more we celebrate ourselves, the more chance we've got of success in the future. And we still have the following awards to announce: Best Digital and Creative Upscaler, Digital Disruptor, Creativity for Good, Putting Derby and Derbyshire on the Map, and the Digital Creative Ambassador of the Year. But first, should we hear some more music? Over to you, Hot House. Thank you, everyone. Welcome back. I say welcome back. I didn't tell you how long the interval was. It's a crucial error. So there are still other people that are filing in and out, so that will happen now. But thank you for filing in. It's not your fault, it's my fault. I didn't tell you how long it was. So feel free, please do come in. I used to be a stand-up, and this was the point where like stand-ups get really angry when people are moving about or like eating or drinking loudly. Like stand-ups are really sensitive people, actually. And this point was where they would pick on someone and say, oh, where are you from? What, oh, you're an estate agent or whatever, that kind of thing. I'm not going to do that. But if there is someone that comes in really late, you could all pretend that I'm going to do that, which could be fun. Are you enjoying the awards so far? Good, thank you, because we are broadcasting live, so that could have been a terrible idea that would have gone badly wrong, but thank you. I feel that energy, I feel that enthusiasm. And we will move on to our 6th award of the evening, which is the Best Digital and Creative Upscaler. This is the 3rd year for these awards, and last year's winners, the winners in 2021 were Bulkhead Interactive, and the winner in 2020 were Rob Twells and Liam Nelson from Frogspark. And the chosen winner will be an entrepreneur or preneurs whose business has seen rapid growth and expansion and have been trading for more than 3 years. And our shortlist this time is Codemakers, McMartin, oh yeah, please feel free to clap. McMartin and the Digital Maze. Congratulations to all of you on being shortlisted. Our judge for this category is Andrew Liddell, Development and Partnership Manager at Creative UK. Unfortunately, Andrew can't be here this evening, but he did have this to say about the winner. So unfortunately, it's me presenting this. They're a strong company that have achieved a lot in 2021 with impressive success and a strong strategy for achieving future growth, and have evidenced how they intend to maintain that growth through 2022. Through the launch of Shipmate, acquisitions through Permit Plus, and continued investment in talent, congratulations to our winners, Codemakers.
Wow, thank you. Pink, just my colour. Wow, wasn't expecting that. We're up against quite some competition there, and congratulations, I think, to Matt Martin and Frogspark for getting through to the shortlist just there. The local digital landscape has changed dramatically, I think, over the last couple of years to how it looks like just in 2020. The sector continues to face some long-tail challenges in the wake of the pandemic. I count ourselves very fortunate at Codemakers, therefore, to have a thriving, growing business in what has been a challenging time for all of us. We continue to build on this growth by recently opening an office in Manchester, and also continuing to invest in our software as a service products, Shipmate and Permit Plus, as have just been mentioned. There's a brand new version of Shipmate being launched towards the end of this month. I really have to dedicate this award to our team, who have adapted so well to the evolving working environment over the last couple of years, and their dedication in producing some world-class digital products. Thank you to them.
Anthony disproved one of the things I was going to say as well, which is that it did seem like every single winner was in the back 3 rows, because that was what was happening, but it wasn't in no way deliberate. So thank you to Anthony for coming a lot quicker to the stage. Not a criticism of anyone else. It really wasn't. That sounds like, I'm from the south. This is the problem, right? I'm from Sussex, okay, which, well, depending on who I'm talking to, I say I'm from Sussex. I am from Sussex. I'm actually from Hastings, which is like a little patch of deprivation in the centre of Sussex. So depending on who I speak to, I say I'm from Hastings or I'm from Sussex. But what is true is that pretty much everything I say does sound slightly sarcastic. It's not intentional. And, you know, imagine what a problem Christmas is for me, even with people that are from the south. So I apologise. But we move on, and we move on to our best digital disruptor. Has your company found an innovative way to adapt in the current business climate? Have you created a product or service specifically for what we now call our new normal? Shortlisted are Rob Twells and Liam Nelson, The Digital Maze. Owain Wilson and Simon Chu from Digital Music. And Erica Horn from CAD for Fashion. I'd like to invite the next judges to the stage, and they are Keith Cox and Chris Hotham from Block Digital.
So, being part of the digital and creative community of Derby and Derbyshire, we were really honoured when we were asked to judge this category, for sure. We weren't quite ready for how hard it was going to be, to shortlist it down to the final 3, but then the actual task of trying to get it down to the finalists, we weren't ready for that because the competition and the variety was so well covered. We did have a bit of a problem as well. If there was just one judge, we could make the decision, but Chris had his ideas and I had my ideas. So filing it down to the final finalist, we decided that we actually needed to see something we'd never seen before, and actually the disruptor, digital disruptor was what it's called. So doing something in a completely different way. So the winner that we selected has got technology that we'd never seen before. It was doing it in a completely different way and allowing people to do something that otherwise they would not be able to do. So I would like to welcome to the stage, please, Owen Wilson, Simon Chu, Digit Music.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers. Well, thank you. Blimey, I'll just kick the light over while I'm up here.
Mate, there we go. Disruptor.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
Mate, after you.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we both put shirts on tonight then, because this is a surprise. So we haven't prepared a speech, believe it or not. So thanks very much. I mean, a round of applause for everyone that's ended up on the finalists tonight, full stop, because it's a big achievement for everyone. We're really proud of this. This will go into the studio, but ultimately for us, why we do what we do is about making music accessible to anyone. And I think we're in a really potent point at the moment of being able to use technology to democratise that. So that's what we'll carry on doing. Check us out if you don't know what we do, Digit Music. Come and have a chat to us as well if you'd like to find out a bit more, and ultimately enjoy yourself. Thanks, everyone.
Ultimately, enjoy yourself. That should be the strapline for these awards. That is absolutely right. Now, we move on to our 8th award for the evening, and I know you're not supposed to have favourites, and this isn't to downplay any of the other awards, but this, when we set up the awards, this was one that I was absolutely certain that we had to have in the mix, and it is our Creativity for Good award. Our judge wanted to see how the winner was able to demonstrate how their product, project, or organisation has contributed to the betterment of lives through creative means, both locally or further afield. Previous winners include Sarah Bulmer for Derby Days Out, Jen Sumner from Hubbub Theatre, Mayor Perkins from Animation and Illustration Mayor Perkins Limited, and The Clean App by Simon Rice. Our shortlist this time round was Sonam Sandhu for Fitness Classes with Sonam. Bethany Sheldon from Maison Fu. And Ava Hunt from Ava Hunt Theatre CIO, Symphonia Viva and Orchestra Live. And our judge for this is Kerry Andrews from the Level Centre. I'll invite up to the stage. But just so you know, the Level Centre is an amazing art centre in Derbyshire, which you might not know about, but please do check it out because they do incredible work for people of all abilities. And Kerry can explain it better than I can, but please give a massive round of applause, Kerry Andrews.
Thank you so much for getting everyone to check out Level Centre. So this category, God, Creativity for Good, I've got to honestly say, every single application had Creativity for Good, and it was quite an emotional process to go through. And so I'm very new to working in the East Midlands, so for me as well, looking at this category and assessing the applications was really a beautiful insight to some of the amazing creativity that's happening across the region. And I think there's some really inspirational projects, and the 3 that are on this shortlist, I mean, there could have been so many more thrown in, and honestly, each one of these were the winner, and then I'll sleep on it, and then the next day I'd wake up with another idea, and it'd be another one that was the winner. And shortlisting them down to the 3 and then picking the winner was probably one of the hardest things to do. And all of these projects really tackled challenging projects within the pandemic. And picking that winner was really difficult, but the one that I chose in the end, I think, really was transformative for the participants. It also had a platform within a conference that enabled to perhaps share the Creativity for Good and what it achieved, so it has further reach. So, Destinies is a project that really brought connectivity together, social isolation, skills development, and it really kind of explored language barriers when they had to adapt their project and move it online during the pandemic. They definitely supported marginalised voices, and I think it's this particular quote I'd like to read out. Involvement in theatre has been life-changing for Y, who, aside from horrific war experiences, also had experience of coping with his mum's acute mental health issues and her subsequent stigmatisation by the rest of the family. We owe you a serious debt of gratitude for the confidence he has gained. And that was a quote from a foster parent. So I'd like to say that Ava Hunt, your project, is the winner of the Creativity for Good category. Many congratulations.
I don't actually know what to say. Thank you. Thank you so much to the judges, but thank you so much to the young people that have been involved in this project. The journey that we have been on together over the last 2 years has been extraordinary, and the growth of individual people has been extraordinary too. I have learnt so much from you, and thank you. Just, I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. To everyone involved.
Thank you, Ava. Thank you to all of the people that submitted in that category particularly. And I think one of the things I reflect on every time we do these awards is that all of you, whether you run a CIC or a commercial company or limited company or whatever your status may be, you have the ability to use that creativity that you have to do good, to make changes in the world. And some of that might not always be obvious. That's the level of excitement we want. Sometimes that might not always be obvious, but actually if you seek out the challenges, you in this room, those that work in the creative industries, quite often the ones that come to the solutions quicker, or at least enable other people to come to those solutions. So do not underestimate, again, the opportunity that you have to improve both your local community, but the global communities that we now all inhabit. We now move on to our penultimate award for the evening, which might either be a kind of a sigh of relief or a, oh no, do some more. But you can't really do a kind of an encore for awards. It'd be a bit disingenuous, wouldn't it, if you just created an award at the end just to carry it on a bit longer. Go on, do that thing that bands do where they're like, oh no, don't make us come back on again. Sorry to Gez and other musicians in the audience. I know you have to do it. And I was a comedian, I had to do it as well. You'd be like, oh no, do I have to come back? I'll go on then. And I've got another 10 minutes that I'll do now after you asked me to come back on. I can't remember where I was going with that. That's why I'm not a stand-up anymore. One of the reasons. Mainly the funny bit of it. Thanks for that sympathetic laugh, I'm going to call that there. But yes, our next category, again, is one of those awards that we were really conscious that we wanted to put into the Mainframe Awards from the very beginning, putting Derby and Derbyshire on the map. It's an award that's very close to our hearts, and the winner will be someone who's making us proud in how they're flying the flag for our region. To give you some examples of winners in the past, in 2018 it was Derby Days Out. In 2019 it was Three Guru. In 2020 it was Keith Cox and Block Digital, one of our judges we just had up. And in 2021 it was Catapult for the Derby Marketplace project. Shortlisted this year, Sarah Bulmer from Derby Days Out. Codemakers. And Paul Handley from Bearded Badger Publishing Company. Our ninth judge this evening is Paul Simpson, CEO of Derby City Council. Paul. You got a woo there. I did. I said your title.
It wasn't my wife either. It was me. Yeah. See you later. Right, good evening everybody, and great to be here, and as others have said, thank you so much for inviting me along, both to this evening, but obviously more importantly to be a judge for this award. I'm the, Adam talked earlier about creatives, and as the boring guy in the suit that sits behind his desk pushing pens all day, I'm probably the least creative person in the room. So, but I took great delight in being the judge for these awards, because it just made me think. It really struck home as others have said, the huge talent that we have in our city and in the surrounding areas. And as Chief Exec of the City Council, I guess one of the things that I'm desperate to do, I'm from Derby, this is my city, is to make our city a destination. It is to attract people to our city that want to come to Derby and enjoy the city and all that it has to offer, and to have more places like Quad that will bring those people to our city. So that's certainly why I guess this was a particularly relevant category for me to judge, because I think part of my job is absolutely about putting Derby and I guess Derbyshire, and I don't talk too much about Derbyshire, but there's other reasons for that, but putting Derby on the map. So it was really, as I say, really great to be able to judge this category. So in terms then of the nominees, and again, I was really struck by the range of talented people that we have in our city and the surrounding area. I was judging writers, artists, people who've set up websites, publishers, absolutely fantastic array of talent, and hats off to all of those who were nominated, and in particular, congratulations to the 3 that are shortlisted. But I guess the one that stood out for me as the judge was the one that I felt at that point in time had gone over and above about putting the city in particular on the map in terms of national and, well, certainly local, regional, national, and hopefully international recognition. And I'm delighted to award the award, even though I've not actually brought it with me. That's good, isn't it? It's still down there. I'll catch it.
drum roll please, to code makers.
You might want to tell them why you won the award. Yeah. Not quite the encore I was expecting either, really. It's actually with, I suppose, Mixed Emotions collecting this award on behalf of code makers this evening, because, of course, it's just a little over 2 weeks since we learnt that Derby didn't quite make it to the final round of the City of Culture bid. I think we can all agree that the bid really did actually bring the whole city together. And I think it can prove that what a small city we are, we can punch above our weight in terms of what we can do on the national sort of stage. I think the legacy of the bid really needs to be a renewed cultural focus for the city, and acting as the framework really for the sort of cultural programs for this decade. And I think everyone in this room needs to influence that and make sure it stays on the agenda. I think also one thing I'd like to say, it was an absolute privilege for co-makers to be a part of this journey. And a privilege to work with Adam and Mike Brown over there on this project. Their enthusiasm and optimism really did galvanise the city, and I think you should be truly proud of what you did for Derby, and we nearly got there. And thank you very much for the award. It was actually Chris's job. I got COVID at the time, but he's too nervous to collect the award. But thank you very much.
Yeah, another little behind the curtain moment. Anthony was very generous there with his comments. I think Chris and Anthony at various points when Mike and I were asking for updates to be done tomorrow by 9 o'clock, at like 8 o'clock in the evening, I'm fairly sure the comments were not, this is a great process to be involved in, glad we're here. But that's the challenge of creative products, and actually they rose to that challenge and they did do Derby proud with their work. As have all of you, and we are at the final award of this evening. And it is for the Digital and Creative Ambassador of the Year. And again, with this award, we wanted to create something which was not necessarily always seen elsewhere in awards ceremony, but also kind of pushed back a little bit and said, look, you won this award, but now you need to help us, as in the city, to continue your ambassadorial role out there. But the reason the people are on this shortlist is because they're already doing that. And all three of these people should be given a huge amount of credit, because they don't just talk about themselves or their own business. They don't just talk about one organisation or people that they work with. They talk about the whole of Derby, and they talk about what's going on. And sometimes that's small things, like just talking about a film that you saw, or a gig that you went to, or a spoken word artist that you listened to, or a local brewer making a beer in the city. All of those things add to what is I can't think of a different phrase, cultural milieu. That's a terrible phrase, apologies. But the mix of things that come together to make a city great, but it's only great if it's celebrated by those people. You can also make a mistake sometimes, and this is true of every city, so I'm not picking on our paper in particular, but particularly now, national media, local media, etc., you can be forgiven for thinking that the world is ending when you read the comments that are below the line on any story. It doesn't really matter what story it is, and increasingly there's a lot of kind of clickbaity type stories that appear on all media where it's just like, did you know that Snickers have got more nuts in them this year? And you would not believe the incredible vitriol that comes from something as relatively anodyne as that. But the trick is to filter that stuff out, but at the same time recognise that sometimes people are making these comments because they're hurting about something or they're upset about a particular issue. And it's really difficult to depersonalise it, and I will pick on someone in the room here because someone like Paul Simpson, for example, as the Chief Exec of Derby City Council, will get attacked no matter what happens sometimes in various different areas. And the trick is to kind of see through that, but not to ignore it, to understand where some of those comments are coming from and to find solutions to that. And that, for me, is potentially the biggest legacy of our City of Culture bid, is that we kind of looked under the bonnet, if you like, of Derby, and we looked at where those challenge points were. And it wasn't that we came up with every single solution in our bid. Maybe if we had done, we would have won. But what we did find was that actually there was a willingness, not just from the people that were closest to it, but from the whole of the city to come together around those problems. And this term that's come up into the more kind of regular consciousness, this Team Derby ethic, I think is true. It is real. And Team Derby is not a closed thing. If anybody wants to be part of that, they can be part of that. But I guess the only kind of two elements to it are that you need to care about your city and your place and its people, as in Derby, where we are now. And you need to be willing to contribute something positive to that. You can't just bring to the table what are the issues. You've got to be part of having those conversations about what those solutions might be. And some of that is on us finding ways of allowing people to understand what are really complex issues sometimes, and recognising that just shouting at someone because they've got a different opinion or a different point of view, which was, as a younger person, that was very much my approach, and disenfranchised me from a lot of relationships, familial, friendships, etc., where I disagreed on a particular point and just wouldn't back down from it rather than taking a step back and listening. All of those elements, although these sound like high concept things, are things that are within our gift as a city and that we can make a difference. And tonight's awards, and this award in particular, are a reflection of the role that each of you as individuals and organisations can play in that. So, this award is awarded to the Digital and Creative Ambassador, who will be a champion for Derby and Derbyshire, focused on making the city and region a great place for digital and creative businesses to set up and thrive. Previous winners, in 2018, the first recipient was Jack Williams from Archer Hampson. Then in 2019, it was Drew Taylor-Davis from Future Proof Films. And in 2020, the winner was John Wall from Quad. And last year, it was Yvonne Gorman from Essential Print Services. So, who has won it for 2022? Our nominees, as you can see up there, are Lynn Hollingsworth, Gez Addictive, whose birthday is today as well. Alpha Pro Creative. And Claire Zwozny-Beswick from Crazy Best. Now, this is an award that is voted by you out there. It isn't judged by a category, it's voted by the Mainframe community, yourselves. And the winner of this award, as voted by yourselves, is Lynn Hollingsworth.
I'm speechless for once, actually. I really didn't expect to win this. And the other two people in the category, fantastic. Happy birthday, Gez. Hope you have a great night. Everybody that voted for me, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. It means a lot. I've been working in the creative industries for over 20 years. It's who I am, it's what I do. And I'm very proud to work in the creative industries in Derby. And there are a few people that I'd like to share this award with, if possible. They're people that when I arrived in Derbyshire 20 years ago, it was like they were people that were also setting up creative industries alongside me, and they're still going today, so I really hope I can remember all their names. But they're a group of very strong women. Hannah Fox. Philomena Rodriguez. Jo Bell the poet. Laura Williams at Banks Mill. Abby Canning, who does amazing work at Quads. Jenny Smith, textiles artists. All amazing women out on the art scene that have been, Dawn Foot from Catapult. I feel that we all sort of grew up through the ranks together. We've all known each other for 20 years. We're all still going strong. We're all beating the same drum together. We have no gimmicks. It's just us doing what we do best. So thank you so much. Thank you.
What a great way to finish the awards. Thank you, Lynn, for that. And yeah, again, Lynn reinforces that point that actually we're better as a community, and sometimes you need those people around you at the most difficult times, so look after each other as well. Got a lot of thank yous, but I will be brief but sincere with these. A huge thank you, and please give a round of applause to all of our judges for tonight. It really is incredibly difficult because the awards that come in, the people that submit to the awards, a lot of them are incredibly personal, and you've heard some of the personal journeys that come with this. So for the judges, it's really difficult to uncouple that element of, you know, this is someone's life, this is their career, this is their job, alongside making a judgment. So it is a hard job. Everything that the judges have said is absolutely true. Huge, as I said at the beginning, huge thank you to Andrew Lindley Productions for our production for tonight. As well as the tech team here, Maria and Adam and Toby and others. The ever so accommodating, because I forgot to tell people they were supposed to stay on stage and get their picture taken, Charlotte Jopling on photography. Check out Charlotte online, amazing photographer. If you need stuff doing, go to Charlotte. We also do want to do, for those of you who've been to awards in the past, we did used to do a picture of everyone on stage. It's a bit tricky, but we do want to do that at the end. So when we finish, if people could just hang around, and we'll try and gather everyone on stage. It is a bit like a wedding photograph. Charlotte will put you in positions and tell you to move. Huge thanks to Sam Jordan of Sam Jordan Films. Huge thanks to Firecatcher, Sam and Tom, who are here somewhere. The amazing 10 PM Print Club. Our fantastic VIP 360 booth downstairs. Please use that again. Great for events. The first time I got on it, which was for another Mainframe event, the people were very kind and said, like, you know, just move. And I just kind of stood there, like, panicked. It's spinning, and I didn't move. And then I've subsequently followed them on Instagram, and if you see some of the amazing moves that people pull out, and yeah, you need to like have a bit of showmanship when you do the 360 booth. So I'm not the archetype for that. And also, hopefully you agree that the awards themselves are beautiful. And what you see here are the different colourways that we've used for each award ceremony. There isn't anyone that has won an award every year, so no one has the complete set apart from what you can see here. But these were made by the fantastic creators at To Make. It would also be remiss of me not to thank the sort of, it's always bad picking out one person, but unfortunately tonight I kind of have to. the one person that has made this event happen tonight and you've probably seen her kind of in between each award saying, Adam, you forgot to say that, or Adam, please mention this. And the reason she does it is that I do forget to say stuff, even though Charlene has written it down perfectly and I've made a mess of it. So anything that's gone wrong tonight is entirely on me, because if it had been done in the way that Charlene had written it down and scheduled it out, it would have all been completely seamless, because Charlene is brilliant. So please, massive round of applause for Charlene. I've done a lot of award ceremonies, and I always forget to thank someone. So, please do just give a massive round of applause for all of you who've come here, everyone that's made this event tonight, and I apologise if I have forgotten to say thank you to someone. It isn't because of unsincerity, it's because I am useless. So please, massive round of applause. So what's going to happen now is the wonderful band Hot House, round of applause for them as well. Hot House are going to play us out, and at that point we will close the stream down. When Hot House have finished playing, if you could wait until that has ended, and then we'll gather on the stage and do the photo, and then we will allow you to go downstairs and enjoy yourself. Sorry, what was it? What was the phrase you used earlier? Just have a good time. That's what's happening afterwards. Thank you, everyone. Over to Hot House.